Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, hiding in plain sight in millions of homes, especially older ones. We're talking about the hidden electrical dangers that could be lurking right behind your walls. So let me ask you this. Do your circuit breakers seem to trip all the time? You turn on the microwave and suddenly the whole kitchen goes dark? Or maybe your lights just flicker for no good reason. These might seem like just, little quirks of an old house, but they could be warning signs of a much bigger, much more serious problem. Let's dive in. All right, first up, let's cover the common warning signs. Think of these as the signals your house is sending you when its electrical system is really under stress. Take a look at this list. Does any of this sound familiar? That weird buzzing sound from an outlet, a light switch that feels warm when you touch it, or maybe even a faint smell of burning plastic. You see, warmth means there's resistance, and electrical resistance, well, that's how fires can start. And if you still have those old two-prong outlets, that is a major red flag for shock risk, because they don't have a ground wire for safety. These are all direct warnings, and they're especially common in homes built before the 1980s. But what's actually causing all these issues? Well, the answer is often hidden away, right behind that little metal door in your garage or maybe a closet. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the heart of the system. So, this is your electrical panel. It's basically the heart of your home's electrical system. Its job is to take all that power coming in from the street and pump it safely through circuits to every single room. But just like a heart, if it's old and starting to fail, the entire system is put at risk. And this right here is a really critical point. Some older electrical panels aren't just outdated, they are known, documented fire hazards. Why? Because they can fail to trip when a circuit gets overloaded. That allows the wires to get dangerously hot, and that can absolutely start a fire. And this danger is incredibly specific. We're not just being general here, we're talking about particular brands. The two biggest offenders are Federal Pacific Electric, or FPE panels, and Zinco panels. These were installed in literally millions of homes, and they are notorious for failing to do the one job they were designed for. In fact, some tests showed that certain FPE breakers can fail to trip over half the time. Just think about that for a second. That's a terrifying statistic. But the panel is only one part of the story. If we're thinking of the panel as the heart, well, the danger can also be lurking in the system's arteries, the wiring itself. So what's all the fuss about aluminum wiring? If your home was built somewhere between the mid-60s and the early 70s, there's a decent chance this is what you have. And believe me, it carries its own unique set of risks. This chart really lays out the core issue perfectly. See, aluminum expands and contracts a lot more than copper does when it heats up and cools down. So over time, this constant tiny wiggling motion can actually loosen the connections at your outlets and switches. And a loose connection creates intense heat, what's called electrical arcing, and that is a massive fire hazard. It's exactly why copper is the standard today. It's just stable and much, much safer. Okay, so we've definitely identified the problems, and some of them are pretty scary. So now, let's talk about the solutions. How do you bring an older home's electrical system safely into the 21st century? Replacing a dangerous old panel sounds like a huge, intimidating job, but it's actually a very structured professional process. First, a good electrician comes out and assesses what you actually need. Then, they do the work. They replace that old box with a modern, safe one. And finally, they verify everything is working perfectly and that it passes a city inspection. Simple as that. Another upgrade that is an absolute lifesaver is the GFCI outlet. I'm sure you've seen these before, the ones with the little test and reset buttons. They are constantly monitoring the flow of electricity. If they detect even the tiniest imbalance, like electricity trying to flow through you or through water, they shut off the power in a fraction of a second. It's an incredible safety feature, and that's why they're required by code anywhere near water. So you've decided, okay, I need to make my home safer. When you call in an expert, there are a few things you should absolutely insist on. First, always get upfront, flat-rate pricing. A true professional will be able to diagnose the problem and give you a firm quote that covers everything, all the labor, all the materials, even the permits. You should never, ever be surprised by the final bill. Second, and folks, this is non-negotiable, make sure you hire a licensed and insured professional. Here in California, you're looking for a C10 license. This isn't just a piece of paper. It's your guarantee that they know the complex electrical code inside and out and that they're accountable for their work. And finally, a real pro will handle all the necessary permits and inspections with the city. This is so important. It ensures the job was done correctly to the absolute highest safety standards, and it also protects your property's value when it comes time to sell. So, after hearing all this, you have to ask yourself, is your home's electrical system just a charming old relic? Or is it a safe foundation that's actually ready for the demands of modern life? Honestly, the answer to that question could be the most important thing you figure out about your home today.